a poll on my community page asking you guys what you thought was the best class. So let's find out how that's going on. What the hell? Alright boys and girls, this tier list is a little bit different as I'm trying out a new scoring system where we score each class on things like healing, DPS, AoE and so on. This is an imperfect system at the moment, so we won't put too much weight into the scores, as I think we need to add some other things like mobility and sustain. We will also hear from you guys, as I did a community post asking what class you guys thought was the strongest, and let's just say the answers shocked me. Make sure you drop a sub too if you want to be a part of things like this in the future. We'll also hear from some other content creators in this video as well. So let's get into it. Right, Templars are up first, and with the recent patches, it really feels like someone at ZOS was touched in their naughty spots and have it out for Templars. It all started with Jab's animation that's been changed and making it hit like your 90-year-old grandmother with a Nerf gun. Then it only got worse with the Power of the Light nerfs. With all that taken into consideration, I think Templars are still in a better place than most would think. With the most annoying CC in the game with Spear, honestly, whoever thought it was smart to put a CC that has a knockback on top of going through block should be sacked. With the OG Burst Heal Breath of Life and J-Beam hitting super hard, some players are making it work. To sum up, I think Templar's real power is in the ease of play and being one of the most beginner-friendly classes in the game. Poor Sork. Where do we start? Mag Sork is probably in the worst place it's ever been, and that is saying something. For a while now, Mag Sork's just been struggling, and it just gets worse and worse. That being said, they have great single target burst, but unfortunately, it isn't quite good enough in this tanky meta. Mag Sork's whole playstyle evolves around streaking, turning around, and being able to burn your enemy before they can get back in your face, basically getting nice quick kills. And unfortunately, in the tanky meta we have, this just doesn't work in a lot of situations. Stamsork is in a lot better spot at the moment with great damage and mobility. They lack burst healing, which really hurts. And before some fuck types, they have a burst heal with Dark Deal, Johnny. What are you on about? Dark Deal has its issues. It isn't instant, it can be interrupted, and as far as burst heals go, it isn't necessarily the strongest in the game. And yes, you can streak and cast it, but that even has its problems with range damage and also gap close spamming. Dark Deal, I think, also is less useful at the moment because you're seeing a lot more builds have a lot more mixture of mag and stam skills, so you can use both resource pools. So trading one resource for another resource isn't as useful as it used to be in non-hybrid meta. To sum up, ZOS, please, for the love of God, give Sork some love, especially Mag Sork. Honestly, maybe making shields go back to non-crittable might be what Mag Sork needs. I do not know. To stack on the massive pile of crap Sork is at the moment, it's really shit when it's laggy. So yeah, it's not the great for us Aussies. Let's start Nightblade off with probably one of the best Nightblades in the game, React Faster.
My name's React Faster. I play Nightblade. Console transfer over here on PCNA. Most people have probably seen me streaming on Twitch. It's probably like the top class in the game right now. It definitely has the best damage out of any class in the game. It has really good survivability, good sustain. It's definitely on top of the current meta that we're in. You know, when I say that, I'm mostly talking about hybrid Nightblade because the whole game is hybridized now. And honestly, if you're playing specifically one or the other, you're just kind of gimping yourself and not choosing the best of every morph.
And if you would say Nightblade would have a weakness, what would it be?
I guess just, you know, when there's high incoming pressure on Nightblade, all of the stuff that you have to do is sort of active defense, short duration healing. You've got refreshing path that you have to constantly stand in. You got vigor, which is 5 seconds. weaknesses. You got siphoning attacks, which requires weaving, so weakness, high pressure, just because everything is sort of active defense on that class rather than passive defense.
And probably the fact that a lot of your burst is single target too.
Yeah, it can be tough. It can be tough to single people out. I mean, the saving grace is that it hits so hard right now that usually you don't need a huge offensive window to kill people.
Alright, thank you very much. I'll have his channel linked in the description, so make sure you go give him a sub. He also streams on Twitch, so go and make sure you check him out. Nightblade's damage is pretty much unmatched at the moment. We have all woke up in the mornings with a sore ass thanks to those 20k spec bows. Nightblades used to have a problem with burst healing, but that's not really the case anymore. Also, Nightblade has one of the best class identity with skills like Cloak and Shade, which offers them great mobility. The only downside to Nightblade is the lack of AoE damage on stam setups and the fact it's the worst class for high ping players. Makes me so sad. Nightblade is one of my favorite classes and it just irritates me every time I try and play it. To sum up, Nightblade's insane damage, great survivability makes it the strongest solo class at the moment with the ability to easily cut down those damn tanks. But do keep in mind that Nightblade has by far the highest skill ceiling. Okay, Necro. Now, honestly, I have no experience personally on Necro this patch, let alone this year. I'm gonna hand this one off to Mr. Sakar. If you're not following him on Twitch and YouTube, make sure you go do. Take it away, my dude.
I think that if you don't play it a certain way, you are honestly just handicapping yourself. If you don't use Harmony on Necro, it is abysmal, personally. But Harmony still feels pretty strong. It's kind of tough to use it because of how tanky everybody is, and everybody's kind of gotten wind to how Dark Convergence works. So honestly, I feel like Necro's pretty much on the low end of the list right now, in both Mag and Stam. And the only way to honestly bring it out of that low list is to just do kind of a Harmony type build, which honestly I feel like that gets pretty boring after a while.
Mainly bomb crow kind of thing, more so than normal Stam crow.
Yeah, Stam crow feels pretty low tier. I don't think I would ever I think I could just go AFK fighting a Stam crow and just come back 10 minutes later and I still wouldn't die. I don't really think that there's any damage with that right now. But a Mag Necro without Harmony, I have tried to make it work in so many different ways this patch and it just doesn't. If you're not Harmony, you're not really Mag crowing at all, unless you're a healer, I guess.
Alright, Warden, the current class that I am playing at the moment. Now, Warden has a great toolkit with just about everything you need besides a good class CC. It's been a problem and I guess it will continue to be. Speed and snare removal also great with minor protection and minor berserk to top this off. They also have easy accessibility to major crit and major damage buffs. Healing is another really good point with great hots and burst healing from Polar, amazing AoE pressure and major and minor armor debuff with Deep Fissure. Wardens also offer great group utility with major defile and minor recovery buffs aren't really easily accessible, so it's really nice here. Wardens are also one of the classes that have a clear Stam and Mag versions, with Ice Wardens being really strong as well at the moment. To sum it up, there really isn't much to not like about Wardens. Along with everything we've talked about, they are also very beginner friendly and also the strongest class at the moment for us Aussies with high ping. Alright, let's move on. DK. As someone that mained DK for quite some time, it's definitely not as strong as it was, especially in the Oakensoul days. But it still has some of the best ults in the game, with Corrosive still being super strong. That being said, the downside, even with Corrosive, it feels like DK's damage is behind Warden and Nightblade. And that simply just comes down to the main reason everyone is tanky. It's got more to do with healing than mitigation, and I'm not saying mitigation doesn't need looking at, it's just healing is a real problem at the moment. DK has great crowd control and amazing healing with coagulating blood, major mending, burning embers, and cinder. To sum up, DK isn't the best at anything, but also not the weakest in any area. And to be honest, it just lost too much pressure with the dot nerfs and too much burst with the whip nerfs to be the strongest class in this tank meta. Alright, so earlier today I made a poll on my community page asking you guys what you thought was the best class. So let's find out how that's going on. What the hell? Didn't see that one coming. So 48, basically 50% saying DK is the strongest class, followed by a mile away with Nightblade at 25, Warden at 24, and then Templar at 3%. The Templar I pretty much expect, but holy crap, I didn't expect DK to be double Nightblade. And I think it does make a fair bit of sense when you kind of break it down, because I think Nightblade at the moment is by far the strongest class, but as I alluded to early in the video, it has a very high skill ceiling. So for the average player, Nightblade probably isn't the strongest class. I would still say Warden is that, but apparently people think DK is, and I think that might have a bit to do with people not knowing how to build Warden at the moment. You pretty much just have to stack all damage and go vamp with 40k health. You're really tanky and you hit as close as you're going to get to Nightblade. Obviously not Nightblade kind of level, but somewhat close. Yeah, this is quite surprising. Anyway, boys and girls, this has been a fun video. Don't forget, if you want to improve your ping in ESO, to check out Exit Lag. I'll have that linked in the description. And as always, boys and girls, I love yous, and I'll catch you in the next one.